Where will the four-star wide receiver, a top 250 player in the country, Zion Ragins, end up committing today? At least that's when you guys will be watching this video. And guys, before we break it down, before I give you my prediction of where the four-star wide receiver out of Gray, Georgia will end up landing, go ahead, jump down the comments below and let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Because when you look at what the Oklahoma Sooners are doing on the recruiting trail, Emmett Jones is straight up killing it, whether it's in the 2024 class or the 2025 class. And that's kind of where we're going to go ahead and start this video, because Emmett Jones has absolutely made traction on the recruiting trail since his time at Norman. There was no lapse in recruiting. He hit the ground running. And it's pretty known and obvious when you look at what he's done in the 2024 class with 4 wide receiver commits already and putting Oklahoma in a position to land a 5-star athlete who they would likely play at wide receiver in Terry Bussey. And I get it. Yes, he has the crystal ball to end up at Texas A&M, but Oklahoma is certainly not out of the race. And if he ends up at the party at the Palace, you would imagine that Oklahoma would probably be in pretty good position for that player, even with the Steve Wiltfong crystal ball to Texas A&M. Oklahoma realistically could be looking at 5 or 6 wide receivers in this class, which when you look at where they were at the beginning of the year, maybe taking 3 or 4, potentially landing a 5-star in Bryant Wesco, Zion Kearney, and then either one of the 2, KJ Daniels or Isaiah McMorris. You really didn't expect the wide receiver class to be this deep for Oklahoma. But ultimately, things happen. Keon Brown is not able to get on campus from the 2023 class. He ends up going to a JUCO school. Oklahoma loses guys in the transfer portal. They pick up a couple, but there is a certainty of an unknown about the production at the wide receiver position. So Emmett Jones made it his mission to go out there and get more guys, create more depth, and create more competition. Now, when you look at the 2025 class, he's almost positioned just as well for that class as he is the 2024 class, because you look up and down at that class and you go, man, he could probably realistically, if he wanted to take more than 4 guys, 6 or 7, which is absolutely insane to think about. And when you look at the wide receiver commits that he could be getting, he has already 4-star wide receiver Grayson Harris committed, a Skip Johnson and Emmett Jones collaboration. Grayson Harris is a guy that will end up playing baseball for Oklahoma, but also is going to be playing football at the wide receiver position. You look at the 4-star wide receiver Isaiah Mosey out of Lee Summit North, who I think all of the expert predictions assume he will be a Norman, potentially maybe could shut it down this month as he will be attending Sooners Under the Stars. Then you've got the 4-star wide receiver Jaden Nickens out of Millwood, Oklahoma. Now, some people will tell you they're not as high on Jaden Nickens, but if you can go out there and get a 4-star wide receiver in your backyard, why would you not do it? And then additionally, you have Elijah Thomas out of Chakota, Oklahoma, currently not ranked in the composite rankings yet, but is wanted by some of the most elite schools and has gotten an offer from Alabama. So you would imagine that's what the class of 4 could look like for Emmett Jones. But Emmett Jones is not just in position to potentially land those guys. He's out there looking at Decorian Moore, a 5-star top 10 player in the country, wide receiver. Yeah, out of Duncanville, Texas, Decorian Moore. You've got 5-star wide receiver Andrew Marsh. Yes, another 5-star wide receiver. And there are other guys as well in the wide receiver class that he could be looking at. Emmett Jones definitely is not in a position where he is hurting. He is in a good position. And if you're Emmett Jones, you're honestly sitting quietly, because honestly, you could wrap this thing up. And you heard Parker Thune talk about it. He almost had a second 2025 commit last month, and the 4-star wide receiver Adrian Wilson, who wanted to commit to Oklahoma, but still wanted to take other visits, and then ultimately ended up committing to TCU because Oklahoma wouldn't take his commitment with wanting to take other visits, which you see why, right? Brandon Venables has this policy for a reason, especially when the wide receiver room in 2025 could look a little bit tighter in terms of what they take because of what they took in 2024. But let's not continue talking about 2025, because you guys are here to hear about the 2024 class and the 2024 wide receiver, Zion Ragins, who, hey, he's looking at Oklahoma. He's got FSU on that list. He's been to Georgia with Ron Duggins. And Georgia is no joke because they got Dylan Raiola. the number one quarterback in the country, and honestly, probably could have been the number one quarterback in the last class. Then additionally, Dylan Raiola is going to have a stellar offensive line in front of him because the University of Georgia went out and killed it this offseason on the offensive line. Rightfully so. Get yourself a talented quarterback like that, you need to be able to protect him because he needs to be able to get the balls to guys like Zion Ragins, who, by the way, is just lightning quick. Ran a 100-meter at 10:47 in 2021. Ran a 100-meter at 10:40 in 2023 in May. And then ran a 200-meter at 21:29 in 2021. So you look at it, and it looks like borderline Olympic speed. That's his biggest skill. But it's not just that, because you look at the stats and you look at what Zion Ragins has been able to do on the field, averaging 11 3-point yards per offensive touch. Zion Ragins is a dude that is a playmaker. And a lot of people believe you're hearing kind of related to Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, the former Oklahoma wide receiver. I know a lot of you guys liked him, seeing those dimes dropped by Kyler Murray. Yes, that's who Zion Ragins is being referenced to. And so ultimately, Zion Ragins, like I said, as you're watching this video, it's going to be Tuesday, July 18th, is making his decision. And I believe it's going to be with On3. Reason why I say that is you go look at his a tweet that he retweeted from Ball So Hard Fam. He said July 18th is the date. At Zion Ragins, hashtag commitment day, Greyhound football, recruit Georgia, at Rusty Mansell, Chad Simmons, all On3 guys. And you might be saying, who's this Ball So Hard Fam? Well, it looks like he is a YouTube page that might be making this commitment, whether it's a video, doing something for Zion Ragins, something big. And you would imagine he's probably getting a Hayes Fawcett graphic as well. So no time. I don't know when he's announcing it. I don't know the time. Just know it's going to be some point at July 18th. So just keep your eye out. Let's be honest, like I post this video and then an hour later, we're posting a commitment video, which at that point, we're going to take this one down. But guys, Zion Ragins brings something to the University of Oklahoma that they lost in 2023 in the 2023 class with Keon Brown, who ultimately ended up having to go to JUCO. Now, ultimately could come back if his grades get fixed and the staff still want him. He could come back. Could be a take for the Oklahoma Sooners. But if you get Zion Ragins, it fills that hole that you're ultimately missing. And like I said, for a guy that got snaps at running back and wide receiver for the Jones County team that made Georgia's 5A playoffs in 10 games, caught 46 passes for 557 yards, 3 touchdowns, while also carrying the ball 38 times for 161 yards and 2 more touchdowns. He's literally a utility man on offense. You can use him however you would like. And with somebody of that caliber speed, you likely could use him on special teams. So, guys, I want to hear from you. Go ahead and jump down in the comments below and let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Zion Ragins has visited Oklahoma twice. One unofficial visit in June. He's visited Florida State in June. He's visited South Carolina twice. Florida once. He's been to Georgia. Where do you guys think Zion Ragins will land? I think he will be an Oklahoma Sooner, but I want to hear from you guys. So jump down in the comments below. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Where do you guys think the talented 4-star wide receiver out of Gray, Georgia will ultimately play his college football career?